It's the final day of the ongoing four-day truce in the hostilities between Israel and Hamas. From the Nepali perspective, the focal point has been the possible release of our student Bipin Joshi, who was kidnapped on the ill-fated morning of October 7. However, despite all the assurances, the 3 days of truce did not see the release of Joshi, even as scores of hostages were released. On the last day of the pause in fighting today, the hopes are pinned on the safe release of remaining hostages, including Nepali student Bipin Joshi. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. A lactating mother in Jajarkot's earthquake-affected region succumbed to plummeting cold. Children, pregnant women and elderly citizens worst affected amid winter cold. Sugarcane farmers hit hard as the government fails to fix a base price. Shortage of sugar continues in the market with the failure to take the sugarcane to factories. The last and final day of the four-day pause in Israel-Hamas fighting today. 13 Israelis and 4 foreign nationals released yesterday. Hamas seeks truce extension. And India thumped Australia in the second T20 match to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Yashasvi Jaiswal adjudged player of the match. A 25-year-old lactating mother of Tallosima in Nalgad Municipality 8 of Jajarkot has succumbed to plummeting cold temperatures. Nalgad Ward Chairperson Tej Bahadur Singh said that the deceased Sharmila Chadara had been compelled to spend the nights under tarpaulin since the earthquake struck Jajarkot on 3rd of November. She had given birth to her daughter only a month ago. Pregnant and lactating women in Jajarkot have been the worst affected amid the winter cold. The District Health Office has said that currently there are 896 lactating women in Jajarkot. Majority of them have reported various health issues amid absence of proper shelter amid the winter season. Children and senior citizens too have been affected by the condition in Jajarkot. The family of Nepali student Bipin Joshi, who has been held hostage by Hamas militants, has become worried as Joshi has not been released until the final day of truce between Israel and Hamas today. Joshi's family once again has appealed with the government to ensure safe release and return of Joshi back home. Bipin's parents has called on the authority to make maximum efforts as it is the final day of the four-day truce between Israel and Hamas militants today. Bipin's father, Mahananda Joshi, who had been expecting that he would be released from Hamas captivity on the first day of the truce, said that their daily lives have been overturned as his son has not been released yet. The Joshi family had been living in Mallikarjun toll of Kanchanpur's Bhimdatta Municipality 3 along with their son and daughter since a long time. 23-year-old Bipin had reached Israel in the Nepali month of Bhadra under the government's Learn and Earn program. Bipin, who had been hiding in a bunker during the attack by Hamas militants, was held hostage and has been in Hamas captivity for 50 days while his condition is unknown as of yet. The District Administration Office, Kathmandu, is going to launch a campaign against individuals who have been posting materials on YouTube that is likely to disrupt religious and social harmony. The District Administration has boosted its vigilance upon social media users who are trying to disrupt social harmony and religious tolerance. Nepal Police in this connection has shut down 27 online portals and has filed cases against 53 individuals in the past 4 months for trying to disrupt social and religious harmony. The district administration has said that it is keeping a watchful eye on such unwanted activities. The Valley Traffic Police Office has also stated that the flood of fake news delivered on social media has posed security challenges. The District Administration Office has said that it has corresponded with the Press Council to take action against online portals and YouTube channels that have been engaging in disseminating fake news. The government had decided on 13th of November earlier this month to provide 50,000 rupees to the earthquake victims whose houses were destroyed by the earthquake, with its epicenter at Jazarkot that hit the region on 3rd of November. According to the government decision, the process to hand the earthquake victims the first installment of 25,000 rupees for the construction of temporary shelters has begun. The District Administration Office, Jazarkot, has started distributing the budget to the concerned municipalities and rural municipalities for the construction of temporary shelters from yesterday. However, the local levels and the people of the earthquake-hit area do not believe the amount distributed by the government will be used to construct temporary shelters. The earthquake victims will receive a total of 50,000 rupees in 2 installments to construct the temporary shelters. First, the victims will have to turn in an application at the ward office mentioning the damage caused to their houses by the earthquake. Families that are identified and recommended to the District Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Committee and approved will be regarded as earthquake affected. These families will receive 25,000 rupees in the first installment for the construction of the temporary shelters. The second installment of another 25,000 rupees will be handed to the earthquake victims after the recommendation by the local level, which will ensure that all mentioned procedures had been completed regarding the construction. According to the Temporary Shelter Construction Work Procedure 2023, families affected by the earthquake will have to select the construction site for temporary shelter, which is safe from floods, landslides, and other risks of disasters. Likewise, land will also have to be selected for the construction of permanent housing. The Ministry of Urban Development will send technicians to the related local levels to help construct houses as per the assigned designs. Some of the earthquake victims have started constructing temporary shelters with personal assistance, while shelters are also being constructed under the initiation of various political parties. The government has provided 1.41 billion rupees to earthquake-affected districts, including Jazarkot, Rukum West, Bajhang, Bajura and Salyan for the construction of temporary shelters. The Jazarkot earthquake completely destroyed 26,528 houses in 12 districts, while 35,395 other houses were partially damaged. A total of 154 people were killed by the Jazarkot earthquake that hit the region on the night of 3rd of November, just before midnight. Nursing profession is regarded as highly critical in taking care of patients with various ailments. To become a nurse in Nepal, it is also mandatory to clear the nursing license exam conducted by the Nursing Council. However, an astounding 81% nursing students failed the test, raising serious questions over the standard of nursing education in the country. Altogether, 1,270 nursing students had appeared in the proficiency level license exam conducted by Nepal Nursing Council. The test results showed barely 246 students, that is 19% of the examinees, clearing the test. The council states that the students were deprived of practical classes in the post-COVID era, which hampered their studies, resulting in about 81% failure. Likewise, in the bachelor level BSc Nursing License exam, 203 students out of the total of 414 students passed the exam with a 49% pass result. Prior to this, nursing license exam used to see about 60% pass rate. The final nursing exam conducted under the Council for Technical Education and Vocational Training, or CTVT, last year produced 70% pass result, while the nursing license exam saw over 80% failure, which has raised serious doubts over the standard of nursing education in Nepal. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on increasing number of students failing nursing exams? Your options are A, poor learning, B, lack of monitoring, and C, students not serious. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Amid lack of domestic production and acute scarcity of sugar hit the Nepali market amid festivity this year. Consumers were forced to stand in long queues to buy 2 kilograms of sugar, which also resulted in the black marketing of the commodity. On the other side, the failure to fix a base price for sugar means that the sugarcane produced by the farmers in the country are decaying in the field itself. The government has also failed to provide the grant to sugarcane farmers that was announced last year, amounting to 520 million rupees. Farmers in Kantipur have been completely denied this grant, while those in Sarlahi have availed of 30% grant amount. The government that looks sound on papers with its slogan to uplift the condition of farmers has failed to implement the commitments. With already high time to collect the sugarcane from the fields, the government is yet to fix the base price for these sugarcane. It may be recalled that every year in the past few years, the sugarcane farmers have been compelled to come to the federal capital to raise their voice against the atrocities of sugar industries that have not cleared the due amount to be reimbursed to the farmers. This has also resulted in many sugar farmers leaving their livelihood, while 16 years ago, Nepal used to export sugar to a number of countries. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces what should be done to stop sexual violence. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
स्कुल कलेजहरुदेखि नै अवेयरनेसको कार्यक्रमहरु चलाउनु पर्छ
कडा भन्दा कडा कानुन बनायो भने हिंसा हुन पाउँदैन
नियम मिच्नेलाई अलिकति धेरै सरकारले कडाई गर्नुपर्ने हो
घर परिवार समुदायकै सोचमा परिवर्तन हुनुपर्छ
सचेतनामूलक अभियान सञ्चालन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ
व्यक्तिगत सोचमा नै परिवर्तन गर्नुपर्छ
सरकार पक्षले अब अनुगमन गर्नु पर्यो नि
समान रूपमा छोरा र छोरीलाई हेर्न पर्यो
नीतिगत व्यवस्था दरिलो र प्रभावकारी कार्यान्वयन हुन पनि जरुरी छ
हिंसा सम्बन्धी अभिमुखीकरण कार्यक्रमहरु सञ्चालन गरिनुपर्छ
दुर्गम ठाउँमा गएर पहिले सचेतना कार्यक्रम गर्नु पर्यो
महिलाहरुलाई चाहिँ आम्दानीको स्रोत आर्थिकको कुरामा चाहिँ अगाडि बढाउनु पर्यो
घरको परिवारले श्रीमानले आफ्नो कामको लागि सघाइदिए पनि त्यो पनि हिंसा कम हुन्छ
महिलाहरु आफू सचेत हुनु पर्यो
जहाँ हिँड्न पनि फ्री हुनु पर्यो त्यसरी वञ्चित गर्नु भएन चेतनामूलक कार्यक्रम नै अगाडि बढाउनु पर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ
देशमा निर्माण भएका कानुनहरुलाई त्यसलाई स्ट्रिक्टली लागू गर्ने कडाइका साथ लागू गर्ने
Time now for international update. Another 17 hostages held in Gaza have been released last night, the third such handover during a 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas. The International Committee of the Red Cross said it had successfully transferred 17 hostages from Gaza. Hamas said it had handed over 13 Israelis and dual Israeli citizens, 3 Thais and 1 with Russian citizenship. Among the freed hostages was a 14-year-old American-Israeli Abigail Edan, whose release marks the first time an American hostage has been successfully freed since the start of the truce. U.S. President Joe Biden, who praised Edan's release in an address Sunday, spoke with the girl's family. A spokesperson from the Hostage and Missing Families Forum said the 4-year-old is now receiving treatment at a hospital near Tel Aviv. The 16 other freed hostages had also been transferred to hospitals by late Sunday evening local time, according to information released by Israel's Ministry of Health. Officials released a full list of the freed hostages' names and ages. They include 2 mothers and their children and a pair of siblings. Hamas wants to extend its 4-day truce with Israel beyond Monday through an agreement to free more imprisoned Palestinians, it said in a statement after the latest transfer. Sources have said Israel's war cabinet discussed the possibility at its meeting yesterday evening, and their conditions remain unchanged. Hamas would need to release an additional 10 hostages for each additional day's pause in the fighting. U.S. President Joe Biden said his goal is to extend the pause in fighting to try to ensure the safe release of more hostages and to get critical aid to civilians in the enclave. Likewise, Qatar, which played a central role in mediating the original agreement, said it too was hoping to extend the truce. Qatar and Egypt conveyed a draft agreement to Israel and Hamas on extending the ceasefire and facilitating a larger prisoner swap between the two warring sides. A UN official took part in a humanitarian aid convoy to northern Gaza, said 8 groups were on track to deliver the biggest aid shipment in over a month, describing thin, gaunt people slacking their thirst as soon as water arrived. Before the 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas got underway on Friday last week, UN agencies had voiced fears for disease and dehydration in the north, which had been cut off from outside aid for weeks in a siege within a siege. The UN said previously it could not get safe passage, and medical groups who remained active, like the International Red Cross, that came under fire there. The UN Children's Agency's James Elder said that UNICEF took part in the 5-truck convoy yesterday alongside other UN agencies, delivering high-energy biscuits, vitamin tablets for children, as well as medical kits. The deliveries were made to hospitals where rations were controlled. He described seeing children, often with multiple injuries from burns to shrapnel wounds, lying in hospital beds in a state of shock. Even as the aid deliveries arrived, Elder said that he saw hundreds of Gazans heading in the other direction, fearing the renewal of Israeli bombardments if the 4-day truce is not prolonged. Police and federal agents searched for a gunman who shot and wounded 3 college students of Palestinian descent in Burlington, Vermont, in what investigators suspect was a hate-motivated crime. A man with a pistol shot the 3 victims on the street near the University of Vermont on Saturday evening and then ran away, Burlington police said in a statement. Video showed police at the scene of the shooting on Saturday and first responders treating one of the victims. 2 victims are U.S. citizens and the third is a legal U.S. resident, all 20 years old. Police said that 2 of the men were wearing a keffiyeh, the traditional black and white checkered scarf of Middle Eastern dress, at the time of the attack. Hisham Awartani, a student at Brown University in Rhode Island, Kinan Abdel Hamid, a student at Haverford College in Pennsylvania, and Tahsin Ahmed, who attends Trinity College in Connecticut, were all shot near the university and were being treated for injuries of varying severity. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. A lactating mother in Jajarkot's earthquake affected succumbed to plummeting cold. Children, women and elderly citizens worst affected. Sugarcane farmers hit as the government fails to fix a base price. Shortage of sugar continues in the market with the failure to take the sugarcane to factories. The last and final day of the 4-day pause in Israel-Hamas fighting today, 13 Israelis and 4 foreign nationals released yesterday. Hamas seeks truce extension. And India thumped Australia in the second T20 match to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Yashasvi Jaiswal adjudged player of the match. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.